Hello and welcome back to another part in our Carry the Tune series. My name's Aisling Clark and today I'm joined by local musicians Emily Keane, Catherine Cullen, Brian Mostyn and Mick Blake. So the Carry the Tune series is essentially about how the music has been passed on from generation to generation, its relationship to its place and its geography and how it's immersed in our culture. So I'm going to hand you over to the lads for a couple of tunes.
Well, there were for three great reels that I suppose everybody learns when we're starting off. I know the second one was the first reel I ever learned, the silver spear. Mm-hmm. How about you, Emily? What was the first reel that you ever did?
I remember the Sunny Banks was the first reel, yeah.
That was a great reel.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Hopefully we might play that later on.
Yeah, exactly.
Catherine, what about you?
I think the Sally Gardens was the first one I learned.
Sally Gardens. Good. Maybe
I still don't know any reels.
Okay, that's great. It's great to be here. On this occasion. And we have four. We just figured it out there. We have 4 generations. I'm the youngest. How did you start off playing, Emily?
I suppose my sisters were playing, and when I was 13, I just decided I'd take it up too. With Bernie Flaherty was doing lessons. Whistle, yeah, started on whistle, and then went on to flute then.
Yeah.
And just been playing since.
Yeah, Catherine, how did you manage to start?
Well, the teacher used to do tinwhistle with us in class, and we were just doing Twinkle Little Star and them little things.
And who would that teacher have been?
No, it wasn't Mick anyways.
It wasn't Mick. So that didn't come until later?
No, that was later on.
Yes.
But then I saw Páirc Senior was doing lessons in Drumshanbo.
Yeah, lovely.
Or no, I was here in the dock actually. So I started these lessons and kind of went from there.
Yeah. Mick, how did you become involved in trad music?
Well, I kind of moved to Leitrim about 20 years ago now.
Yes.
And to take up a job as a teacher in Leitrim Village National School.
Right.
And I didn't really play that much trad before that. It was kind of jazz I was into. So there wasn't a great jazz scene in Leitrim Village. So I had to kind of adapt and bumped into a few people, yourself included.
That's right, yes.
Along the way.
Yeah,
and,
that was. I remember the night well. It was out in the football pitch in Leitrim.
That's
right. Some
yeah.
bit of an occasion out there.
There was some function out there.
The Gehigans and all that.
Yeah. But he's
I
a
heard this
very
fella
welcoming bunch.
I heard this fella playing the piano, and I thought, oh God, he'd fit in well in the Cayley band.
Shucks. Yeah. And the rest is history.
And the rest is history. We'll talk about that later on.
We will.
Well, I started off when I was quite young. I was about 7, and I started, I suppose, briefly on the whistle. And then a chap called Alfie Joe Dinning from Sligo, he was friendly with the family, and he began to teach me, and eventually I started off, and I went in the Kelly band with him called the Coleman Country.
Oh, right.
And that was with Fred Finn and Peter Horn and Seamus.
You were the youngest in that band.
I was the youngest by a long way in that band. Yes. I suppose I got too much of it then and packed it up for a while and came back then only a few years ago and met all these nice people. And only for the music I wouldn't.
That's it, yeah.
We wouldn't be here today. So it's a great thing. Well, we continue on with another few tunes. What do we do? We have we're practicing all a year. How long did someone say? A year and a half for this? Okay. A couple of jigs. So we'll start. Yes. These were ones that are a favourite with a Carrick trad. Maybe we'll talk about that after a while as well. The first one is The Haunted House. The second one is My Darling Asleep, and the third one is called The Old Favourite, or some people call it Club Cayley. So we'll give them a go. first tune was written by Vincent Broderick, a great flute player from Loughrea in County Galway. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Oh, there you are now. We mentioned about Carrick Trad there. That's a set that, as I said, the group from Carrick Trad played. And Mick, do you know a bit about Carrick Trad?
I do, yeah. It's a few years ago now. My own children used to go to Sligo for lessons. They had a great cultus set up there. There were lessons given by all sorts of great teachers. But my wife Mary and your late wife Mary decided that there was room for trad classes.
I suppose there was a need for it, wasn't there?
A need, yeah. So
the desire, yeah.
I think at the time we kind of sent messages out to teachers in the area, said would they be interested, and then we kind of.
But it was Liam Cryan actually.
Yeah, that's right.
Liam provided accommodation upstairs in the pub there. He free gratis and for nothing.
Yeah. And then we had too many, so we had to get a bigger
and we had too many. There was harps being carried up the stairs and
pianos and
pianos, and so that really wasn't working out.
There wasn't a lift and cryings either.
There was no lift and cryings.
But yeah, we went on then. I think the Gaelscoil, Katrina.
Yeah, she was very kindly.
Yeah, and I think
came on board.
That's before they got their permanent premises.
That's right. Yeah, that was going on for. That's a number. I can't remember exactly when that started. It must be about 2010 or 11 or something like that.
I'd say so. And the many's in it now. Rough estimate.
Well, unfortunately, with the COVID for the last while, that put a stop to it. But we're starting back again. I think next Saturday in the Gaelscoil. But there's seems to be there's a great amount of interest in it, and hopefully we have Katrina here. We'll be all back teaching there again, doing a little bit.
Exactly, hopefully now.
Yeah.
You know, when the students become teachers eventually, something's going on.
Exactly, yeah. So, Catherine, you'll be doing a bit of Lilton, will you?
I will. I'll do a bit of Lilton later for you, but I started there last year. Maybe it was the year before. I can't remember now. It's so long since I was teaching, but I started teaching Lilton there. And just passing on the tradition. And
where did you, as a matter of interest, where did you start off the Lilton?
It was you actually said it to me one of the days. We were registering for the FLA, and you says I should try out the Lilton because there's not many people doing it now. So I said it to Fionnuala Maxwell, and she helped me with tunes and different things.
Brilliant.
So I got through to the All Ireland there the first year I did it. But hopefully we'll be back at it again soon and get another go.
To that.
I know, exactly. So
Emily, will you give us a tune, please? And listen, tell us, you've said Bernie Flaherty started you off.
Yeah, in the school in Elphin.
And what were you up to there during the summer? Did I see
playing
you
a few tunes?
Did I see you featured in some player?
Yeah, they're FLA Fest, thank God.
FLA Fest, and how did you get on, tell me?
I won, yeah.
You won, yes, you certainly did.
Yeah, no, it was nice to have a few tunes. Thank you.
Well.
Nice to have a bit of a FLA.
You surprised me one time. We were at a Roscommon FLA in I can't just remember.
Castlecute, is it?
Was it Castlecute? It's someplace like that.
I don't know.
And the next thing I saw you on the drums.
Yeah.
And boy, can you drum.
Yeah, I play a bit of them too.
What else do you play?
Oh no, just them.
Just the flute and the drums?
Just the flute and the drums, yeah.
Ah, very good. What are you going to play for us?
I'll play Trim the Velvet, a good flute tune.
Lovely, traditional.
That's it.
Good flute tune. That's lovely. Okay, Trim the Velvet, it's a great reel.
Nice flute one, yeah.
It's a real flute tune, isn't it? Yeah. You know, we're very lucky around here, this area here, that we have so many
Exactly.
good musicians, and we have a lot of very good composers. A lot of those musicians are very good composers. I'm thinking straight away Shane Meehan comes to mind,
Exactly.
and there's a few more as well. But there's a chap over there in Gurchin, Marcus Hernans. They have composed some lovely tunes, and we have a tune here that we'd like to play now. I think it's called "The Beautiful Goldfinch." It's a Marcus Hernan that composed it. So we'll give that a go. Okay. Okay, what else have we on the list now?
I think we're on to Tim Maloney.
Tim Maloney.
This one's especially for Mick Mulvey.
Mick loves Tim Maloney.
Mick, Mick's in the Keeley band with us. And
Yes.
it's just,
Yeah,
the rest of us loved it.
Yeah, we started.
Especially when he said he didn't like it.
Yeah, we started off a few years ago and set up a Kelly band already. I will talk about that in a few minutes. Yeah. So what is it again? That's
Tim
Maloney.
The Sunny Banks. And
3
George
reels.
White's favourite.
We're going to do 3 reels now. The Tim Maloney, Sunny Banks, the one that Emily was talking about earlier on, and George White's a proper one. Ready? great reels.
Nice
like,
reels, yeah.
And they're played all the time, aren't they? You know, they're so
Exactly.
they're pretty common.
Mm-hmm.
And as you say, I suppose Mick Mulvey's favourite is the
We'll have to rename it then.
we'll have to rename it Tim Maloney, yeah. Okay, Catherine, are you going to do a bit of lilting for us?
Sure, I might as well.
And again, tell me about that nice fella that started you off in the lilting.
I think his name was Brian.
Oh, is that him? Yeah.
I'm going to lilt a jig for you now called The Hag with the Money. And Brian was the first fellow who said to me to do lilting one year at the Flow when we were registering. And I went to Fionnuala Maxwell. She's a great singer around here. And she helped me with a few tunes for the Fla. And I got through to the All-Ireland that year. But I'll tell you a bit about lilting for those of you who don't know what it is. A lilter makes music by singing the tune of a reel or a jig by using made-up words such as diddly-ah or skithery. And it was first brought into the Fla as a competition in 1954, and it was won by Fermanagh lilter Paddy Tunney. And lilting is sometimes referred to as mouth music or diddling as well. So I lilt this jig for you now. Daddy hadn't died the day I daddy did, Odin hadn't died the day I daddy did, Odin haddy did, Odin I the day I daddy did, Odin died the day I daddy did, Dia who did, Odin hadn't died the day I daddy did, the day I daddy did, Odin haddy did, Daddy need Odin I the day I daddy did, Odin didn't die to the day I daddy did, Odin hadn't died the day I daddy did, Odin Odin hadn't Dadn't died to the day I daddy did, Odin didn't die to the day I daddy did, Odin to the day I daddy did, Odin down, Dowda Dodin to the day I daddy did, Odin to the day I daddy did, Dee Dad hadn't dum, Dowda did, Odin to the day I daddy did, hadn't dum, Dada did, Odin to the day I daddy did, Odin Dee had it did, Odin hadn't to the day I daddy did, to the day I daddy did, Odin had it did, Dadn't to the day I daddy did, Odin to the day I dum, Dudn't to the day I daddy did, Odin to the day I daddy did, Odin didn't need Oda, Dudn't to the day I dum, Dudn't to the day I daddy did, Odin didn't to the day I daddy did, to the day I dadn't to the day I dum, Didn't to the day I daddy did, Odin hadn't died to the day I didn't dum. Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you.
I'm glad he just told you about it rather than showing you.
I agree.
Thanks. That was brilliant.
Thanks, Brian. Thank you.
And fair play to that man who. Yeah, you were great. I've heard you doing it several times.
Thank you.
And there's some great lilters around. Seamus Fay is a great lilter, isn't he?
Cavan lilter, he's mighty,
You'd hear him.
And Cueva Cairns is another one.
And Cueva Cairns is, yeah.
Yeah.
They do. Cueva plays with the Dartry. She plays with a number of bands, and she's a lovely singer as well. And there's the brother James Keane. Does he do lilting as well?
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
He probably does stuff.
But they're brilliant musicians, and they're into singing, and lilting is.
I know, they're a mighty family.
They're a great family, yeah.
I was just who's the littler who first sang? What was his first name?
Paddy Tunney.
Paddy Tunney.
Yeah.
His son taught me French. So we're coming across the generations.
Oh my God.
Again. And he's very involved up in Letterkenny and the Cultus as well.
Okay,
Paddy
right,
Tunney,
yeah.
Fiddle player. There you go.
It's amazing the way things can get around.
Yeah.
Up in St. Eunan's a long time ago.
Lovely. Okay, we'll continue with a few hornpipes. Fairly well-known hornpipes.
Mm-hmm.
The Harvest Home?
Yeah.
And CRONIN'S.
Yeah.
Perfect.
The Harvest or the Cork hornpipe. Also known as the Cork hornpipe, huh? you never think that did we play them before together?
I don't think so.
I think that's the first time, is it?
Yeah.
That's all the practice.
That's it, yeah.
Isn't it great? That's one thing about the traditional music. You meet people at Fla's that you've never met before, and you sit down beside them and you start playing tunes.
Exactly.
It's just fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
As I said earlier on, we wouldn't be together here today only for the music.
Exactly.
It's a great way of doing it. Okay, what have we?
I think we're over to you now.
Are we over to me now?
It's your big moment.
Thanks, Mick. Okay, I'm going to play a couple of reels now, and these were popularised by Joe Burke. Joe unfortunately passed away there only a couple of months ago, and he was such an influence on accordion players down through the years. Just a fantastic player. But he recorded these two tunes on an album there many, many years ago, and they're pretty difficult ones. So I hope I can get through them all right.
Piano player.
The first one is called "The Dogs Among the Bushes," and the second one, I forget the name of the second one. Garments. But the thing about Joe Burke on these tunes was that he played them in unusual keys. What's the first key in Mick? Is it or something?
E mixolydian.
Is it something like that?
Fancy names.
Keys and me now wouldn't be. We'll give them a go anyway and see how it works out.
So next we're going to go into a set of jigs. The first is Paddy Fahey's. I suppose he was a great composer, but we all know 20 Paddy Fahey tunes. All called.
You know why he called them all the one name?
I don't.
Well, it's Joe Burke came up with this one, so that you could tell the difference between them.
Yeah, it's a good one. Yeah, so we'll play Paddy Fahey's, and then we'll go into Tobin's, and then Willie Coleman's.
Willie Coleman.
Yeah.
Willie Coleman is from
Gertrude.
He's from
Yeah,
Gertrude, yeah. Good, lovely fiddle player.
that's it.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Okay, Mick.
I think it's over to me now. Yeah, we're going to play a couple of tunes, again, not in the style of we've had already, like waltzes, reels and jigs.
Yes, right, yeah. HORNPIPE,
This is Slow Air from Donegal, and it's on our album, the Áirc, The Rest is History.
Right.
We were mentioning this earlier.
That's right,
about the band. Yourself and Aidan, I think.
Yes, Aidan. The Áirc was a band that we had together in 2000 from about 2009 or 2010 that we put together from musicians mainly around this area, Roscommon, Leitrim and Sligo, and we had one stray from Galway for a while, and we eventually won the All-Ireland in 2013 in Derry. The only Kelly band ever to win an All-Ireland outside of the Republic of Ireland.
Yeah, it's not even in Europe anymore now.
It's not in Europe.
I went to tiebreak as well.
It did. That was another historical thing about it. It never happened before.
Did not. It
was a recall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, thankfully, we got through. Don't know if we could take another year of that intense practicing. But Anyway, this is the slow air is called Brídeog Níomhaile, and I'm going to kind of go into hopefully O'Carolyn's draft after that, and then Brian's going to join me for the last few bars.
Well done, Nick. Well done. Well done.
That's lovely.
Thank you.
Okay, I mentioned earlier on about when I started off playing music myself. I played for quite a number of years, about 7 or 8 years, and then packed it up for many, many years. And apart from playing at family occasions, didn't play in sessions for must be 20 years or more. And one of the first things I noticed when I came back, there was the many changes. The first change I noticed was the mobile phone. The mobile phone was the bane of everybody's life at a session. At the end of the session, everyone was looking at the phone to see if there was a message. That I found very irritating. The second thing was that people were now beginning to play tunes in sets of, playing tunes 3 times over, whereas back many years ago, you would only play them twice over. And the third, and probably the most important thing, was the fact that the musicians that were playing could play so many different instruments. I thought that was just fantastic. I know when I started off myself, I started briefly on a tin whistle and got a sort of an understanding of scales and that type of thing. And then to come back, I started the accordion then, and that's all I ever played. While I might knock a tune out of some other instruments, I couldn't play them. And to see all these young musicians coming along, and they can play so many instruments. And Emily, as I said, she can play the flute, and she's the drums, and I'm sure there's other things she can do as well. She's too shy to acknowledge it. But I know Catherine, she's doing the lilting. She's a beautiful singer. If we had time, she's a lovely singer. She does the tin whistle, she does the flute, and she's doing the pipes now. And she's thinking about the piano. And maybe there's a few others there as well, is there, Catherine?
No, there isn't. That's everything.
Huh?
You have it all covered, Brian.
We haven't it all covered. You're going to do something now that...
All the dancing.
Exactly.
We're going to play a set of reeds here, I think, to finish off. The first one is the Green Mountain, and the second one is the Congress, and the third one is the Woman of the House. And I'm going to be doing sean-nós dancing to the last reel in this set. And I learned sean-nós dancing off Edwina Guckian, and she's a mighty dancer from Leitrim. And I suppose, like, with the theme of this project is Carry the Tunes, and Edwina's done so much in passing the tradition, so much about Irish culture and heritage.
And continuing to do it.
Yeah, onto the next generation. And it's just, I've got so many opportunities through dancing, and it's amazing. I'm just so grateful.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I suppose before we play the last set, I'd like to thank Aisling and the people here in the dock for involving me, and I'm sure we're all the same. It's I enjoy the getting together and playing the few tunes. Even though it was pretty rushed, the whole thing at the last minute, but it is. Hopefully we can get together before too long, and I'm sure over the next few weeks and months, when the flyers and the sessions and all that starts getting back again, look forward to that.
We all do.
4 generations, and I'm the youngest.
Bye.